Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Here we go. Welcome in. Follow the Money on VSiN, the sports betting network. Mitch Moss along with Pauly Howard. We are live as always. Downtown Vegas, Circa Resort and Casino is your spot. Busy program lined up today. A lot on today's Major League Baseball card. Tons on the play-in games. Final couple of days of hockey now in front of us before their playoffs start. NFL draft talk today as well. Jeff Sealey, RBC Heritage coming up in 30 minutes. We have Mike Palm in studio. Matt Humans on the program. And Jacob Infante in an hour to talk NFL draft. Well, finally, the play-in/playoffs started last night to get into the actual playoffs. And man, oh man, did we need that, Pauly. Because those games were excellent and gave you a little bit of a taste of what hopefully, fingers are crossed here, the playoffs can actually provide now over the next 2 months in the NBA season. Those games were awesome. Mm-hmm. And I hope we get two games that are kind of close in terms of overall drama on the board that we have tonight.
At Kelce, the Hornets were 16-1 in play to come back and win. And then they're up 5 with 26 seconds left. And then Ball almost blows the game. That was the full LaMelo Ball experience last night.
Crazy game.
Yes, it was. And I certainly didn't see, we knew Avia was a great player, a very good player rather, but his all-time performance. Ball and other guys need to watch that and learn. You know what he's going to do, and you still can't stop it. Yep. Windhorst called him a bulldozer.
Yeah,
I'm going right to the basket every single time. Worst case, I'm going to the free throw line.
Boy,
beautiful.
He was, I think, third overall regular season in free throw attempts per game. That guy, he knows his spot on the floor. He knows how to get there, where to get to. And then you're exactly right. There's a pretty good chance that he's going to end up going to the free throw line. And if not, then there's also a pretty equal chance that he's going to actually finish the job at the hoop. And he was phenomenal last night. And I can't believe that game was almost as good as game one last night. And you can make a case that all four teams blew games last night.
Yes.
Even though we had two eventual winners, but Portland, they were up big, and then the Suns came all the way back to take a big lead, and then they blew it eventually.
Up 8 with 3 minutes, and you get that out of Green. Although, a lot of shots. He took a lot of shots, and you didn't have Grayson Allen as well. But I'm sure you had to be feeling good as well, that it looked like you were going to lose. They don't have Bam, and they hardly played Powell, and it looked like Mitchell and Wiggins were going to beat you, and the Buzz City Killers were going out. But they come back. They're down 6. Miami was up 6 in regulation with the ball with 1:30.
Yeah, I got one report that they were as high as 3,500 in play late with about less than 30 seconds to go in the game. Yeah, so there was in fact, they should have finished the job, and I was going to lose my Hornets playoff ticket based on Davion Mitchell and Andrew Wiggins playing the games of their life, basically. And Mitchell was great.
Right, of all people.
So I just don't understand how LaMelo Ball could not read the room a little bit better. And this is why the Hornets have a small floor. It's because of him.
Read the room. F-bomb on live TV after the game. He's just a bizarre dude.
16 threes?
2 for 16.
2 for 16. Hey, pal, they're not good. It's not your night.
That's right.
Meanwhile, Brandon Miller and Bridges are awesome. In fact, it was so not Con Knippel's night that he couldn't even get on the floor because the coach said, hey, he's not going to win this game for us tonight.
Rightfully benched.
I got to have Kobe White out there instead.
Rightfully benched.
How do you not know as the point guard for your team that others are shooting the ball well and you're not?
Yeah.
That's why they have a low floor. Sorry, they just do because of him.
Well, you called that. You did say I'm concerned about bombs away from 3 and they won't be going in. I mean, every time that guy goes to the basket, good things happen. Yet he wants to settle for the horrendous shot
just terrible
selection.
attempts.
And you're right, 2 of 16. But they go 2 of 22 from 3, Con and LaMelo, and they still win the game, even though a lot of things, they caught some breaks and what happened with Bam. But I'm glad we mentioned them too. But White saved their season to hit that turnaround 3 right out of the timeout to tie the game. And he saved their season. It was a great trade, great acquisition. Why the Bulls made some weird trades. Why did the Wizards trade Avia? But you can't give up on these guys too early, and that these guys can blossom and become stars. And White was the reason they're still playing. And maybe, and certainly, I would love to see either Portland or Miami as a landing spot for Giannis. But the future's bright for Portland if they can make some big moves in the offseason. They weren't expected to do this. No way.
Right. So here's the latest now. The updated numbers after last night. Home teams in the play-in. We're now 3.5 years into this whole experiment, which is pretty cool, actually. Home teams are 13-7 straight up, 8-12 ATS. Neither home team covered last night. Number 9 seeds are 2-7 straight up in ATS, worst out of any seed. That's Charlotte. Actually, 2-7 ATS, now 3-6 straight up. But 2-7 ATS out of the 9 seeds. Charlotte, 1 did not cover overall. And I have multiple bets on the 2 games that we have coming up tonight. And it's not on a side, it's not on a total, but I'm going to get involved with our player props here, Pauly. I know that you said one in the late game tonight that jumped off the page to you, and that was the first one that I actually wanted to look at today. It's Benedict Mathurin for the Clippers. 11.5 points tonight.
Very low. And OptAI loves them. They love everything Mathurin related tonight.
Every imaginable prop that you can think of with him, points, rebounds, and assists related, they're all on the over.
Yep. And I think he's a big key to this team. Now, you rested Kawhi Sunday. He'll be fresh and ready to go. He'll probably score 30. It's a game you're supposed to win. I wonder how much really Golden State cares when you see 3 different guys are on minutes restrictions and they were 8 games under 500. But as I outlined earlier in the week, or late last week, that the Clippers were playing great ball when Mathurin was on fire and they acquired him in the trade. Then he got hurt, and he had some bad moments with his shot. Like in the pivotal game Friday night, he didn't score against Portland, but then had 20 in the win against Golden State on Sunday. So when they were rattling off that nice record, and they had this winning streak, and they put a 153 up on Minnesota at home, this is the stretch the guy had. 28, 17, 23, 24, 26, 22, 28, 21, and 23.
Yeah.
Way too low tonight, and I think he found his game, finally got on track on Sunday. And I definitely think he's going to score 12 points and going to be a big reason why they win this game tonight.
Yeah, Mathurin scored 14-plus points in 16 of his first 18 games with the Clippers. Like the last 5 games of the year, some of those he didn't even play that much. I'm not even going to include them. It was all garbage games, basically. And he didn't play a ton of minutes. Well, this is a true playoff atmosphere tonight, so he's probably going to go out there and play close to 30 minutes, at least 25 to 30, I would guess. And when he does that, he goes over 11.5 almost every single time. In fact, OptAI, they like 4 different Clippers tonight with the points to go over. Derek Jones, Mathurin, Garland, 21+, and also Chris Dunn. I'm not going to bet them all. I'm just going to concentrate on Mathurin in that game. And I'll give you this as well. Steve Makinen, vsin.com, numbers on the matchup in all these games. Clippers are 9-1 ATS last 10 against Golden State. So what is the fair minutes restriction that you think we're going to get on players such as Steph Curry tonight? Yeah. And I'll throw in Kristaps Porzingis.
Well, Kerr had a great interview on the 95.7 The Game in the Bay Area asked about this. And it's just like, it's when you run the numbers, this is the set number of limits that they can play because they no longer will be effective once they hit that. And you're also considering health too. So that's a good question about, is it 30, 35 minutes, whatever it's going to be. But it's not only Porzingis, it's not only Curry, it's also Horford. And then it goes back to the talk, are they better off losing the game as well? Mm-hmm. Because look what happened last year. The Mavericks were in the same situation, lost in the play-in, had the 11th best odds, and got the number 1 overall pick.
That's very true.
So, you're not supposed to be here. The West was just lousy. And I know you had high expectations, but once Butler got hurt, that was it. But I'm sure a lot of Golden State fans, and even among those, because again, what's your reward? To get swept by OKC. First things first, you got to beat Phoenix on Friday. But That's your reward. So I'm sure there are fans who are just saying, better off just lose this game, and maybe a miracle can happen.
That's the way that I would look at it. And again, if you go back to last year, they were not going to lose that series to the Timberwolves. They just weren't. And then Curry got hurt, and that was pretty much it. I think they have to realize here, the best case scenario is to lose this game, kind of go down that same path, if possible, with the ping pong. Imagine in this draft, if the Warriors were to even land a top 10 pick.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right.
And if you want to keep even going higher than that, if it goes top 4, top 3, whatever, and one of the stars that they can get in this draft, that automatically keeps their small window open with Curry's career. And maybe if you want to even throw in Draymond, because a kid can come in at 19 or 20 and have a major impact in this league, as we've seen now many, many years over. And by the way, they could also be active in the offseason as well. There's no point in winning the game. But now, again, good luck telling that to the guys on the squad.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It was a great job, too, with the turnaround with the Clippers, who were 6-21.
Oh, yeah.
And then the 36-19 finish, even though they traded Harden and also traded Zubac as well. But Golden State was also sloppy with the ball this year. and the turnovers were a big story. I would look at Brook Lopez over 1.5 made threes. He is not shy, and they'll probably leave him open as well. But I expect a big game from Mathurin, Kawhi. Lopez can hit a couple threes, and they should go to Phoenix on Friday night. They should win.
I also have another bet on this game. I'm tailing Zach Cohen at vsin.com. It's Guy Santos.
Yep.
He has gone over 15.5 combined points and rebounds in 15 of his last 18 games. And as Zach wrote, doesn't really count Sunday. He only played 17 minutes. So he's averaged 16 points per game alone in that window. He did only score 7 points or fewer in all 4 games against the Clippers this year. But with that hot stretch and it being, again, a game where he's probably going to play 30-plus minutes tonight, and he goes over that often, I had to take that. Again, over 15.5 combined points and rebounds. I laid 15 cents with that. So I have him and I have Mathurin tonight over the 11.5 points. I did not ladder Mathurin, but I don't think laddering to like 15-plus, even if you want to go to like, you want to go to 20-plus on him?
Yeah, absolutely.
It'd be a really nice number to do like that.
That's definitely in play.
Mm-hmm.
That is 5-1.
5-1.
With a guy who got there on a regular basis at the end of the regular season.
Now, I saw 15-1 was right around 2-1. I checked that. 15-plus was around 2-1 earlier today. So I did a mini ladder in the early game, and that's the Magic and the 76ers, because when Embiid doesn't play, this guy goes nuts. We'll tell you which player that is and specifically with what stat category coming up here on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
So you're listening to this podcast because you want an edge. But what if I told you you're only halfway there? You've got the mindset. Now it's time to get the toolkit to match. Here's the thing. Pro bettors spend thousands on data and tools, but what they don't want you to know is you can get the same edge for a fraction of the cost with VSiN Pro. With VSiN Pro, you get access to expert picks, public betting data, prop projections, powerful tools, analytics, and more. Tap the link in the description and see why thousands of bettors are already using VSiN Pro to cash more bets.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
In the other game tonight, Eastern Conference play-in, Magic at the 76ers. Philadelphia at home, about 1.5 for a 2-point favor. The total bumped up a little bit from in the low 220s to 224.5 at this point. Again, we talked about this briefly on the show yesterday. I really can't back either one of these teams. I would take Philly here if there was Embiid. Certainly it would be a bigger number than what it is right now. But I also, based on what the Magic have done recently, I wasn't really strong. I didn't freak out with this team when they traded for Desmond Bane. Thank God I didn't, because I would hate myself over that one. And they just underperformed this year. So I don't.
Yeah, big time.
I don't want to back either one of these teams tonight. I think maybe live wagering would be the way to go.
Yeah. You give up 4 picks for the guy, and you're in the same situation as last year. And it might even be worse because they don't get along with Mosley, and he could be gone after this game. I can't get Sunday out of my head. That was a horrendous loss. You would have had 2 chances, 2 home games to make the playoffs, but you lost as a 14-point favorite. Boston sat their top 7 scorers, and just the body language on the bench as well. So, like Nick Whalen said yesterday, I'm here for anything. This could be a blowout. One team could just come out flat and just not have anything. Certainly, I'm with you. I'd take the Sixers if it was Embiid as well, but they have the same record. But I think if there's a blowout here, and I think it could happen, Caesars offers most points in the game. Grimes is 100-1. There's a scenario where like 21, 22 could cash that and get it done. Based on if you're opening up a can, you're sitting people because you have to get ready for the playoffs. Right?
Look, I don't hate it.
I can't believe it's that high.
No, I don't hate it.
This guy can score. He reminds me of, it looks like Mathurin, that he's only 10.5 for his points prop tonight too. But we can't stand the coach, how bad they played down the stretch. I don't think there's much here with Orlando and how bad they played against Boston, not to mention the look on Wagner's face like he was in a ton of pain on the bench in the Celtic loss, too, that he's compromised.
Right.
So that would also give me pause here.
Well, look, you're not betting like who's going to score the most points in a series here like we will for the first round. You're betting it's a 1 game off. That's it. Like last night, I ran Jalen Green and Abdi Abaya. And they went absolutely crazy in that game.
With Green, yeah.
Like that could possibly happen. And Grimes tonight,
Yeah.
if he scores if he pushes low to mid 20s, he can absolutely cash out at 100-1.
Yes, the blowout scenario is also the loser has to get ready for the game Friday. Not only why would the winning team want to extend and play more minutes when you got to get ready for the 2-7 matchup, and the loser has to host Charlotte on Friday. So while maybe 22-23 could get this done and a big price could cash, Maxey is the favorite and Paulo is the second choice at plus 350 to have the most points in the game.
Well, so here is the biggest player prop that I have so far on the card for today, and that goes for any sport. It's a rebounding prop for Andre Drummond.
Yeah.
And when you look at recent games, the key is there's no Joel Embiid tonight, and that's when you want to play on Andre Drummond. In fact, the last 3 games of the regular season when Embiid did not play, Drummond had 15, 16, and 12 rebounds, and he played 30, 29, and 23 minutes. So if you go back and look, when Embiid did not play and Drummond was on the court, now he played 18 minutes against Detroit in a blowout loss, only had 3 rebounds. But again, unless this turns into a bloodbath like you're talking about tonight, and he only plays 15 to 20 minutes, good chance he's not going to get there. But if this is a close game throughout, no Embiid, when this guy is on the court talking about Andre Drummond and plays 20-plus minutes, Embiid did not play most of the games in March. Some of the rebounding totals for Drummond when he played 20-plus minutes, 12, 17, 10, 11. He came up short with an 8. And go back more than that. In February, he had a game with 9 and other games with 12, 14, and 12. I played over 9.5 at -108 at FanDuel. That was right before the show started. And I also laddered a little bit here, smaller bet on 14 plus at plus 350 out of him tonight. This is where I don't want the crazy scenario where one team is up by 35.
Yeah.
But if he plays those minutes tonight with no Embiid, that's my favorite bet the entire day.
Yep. 4-1, a double-double.
Oh, boy.
There's a lot of candidates for double-doubles, big prices. It's a high total as well. And I wouldn't put you off points, rebounds, and assist over for Maxey or Paul George as well. Paul George sent some good moments as he came back from a suspension as well.
Mm-hmm.
Other ways you can attack it tonight too with all these player props. But this could be anything tonight. It really could, based on how bad Orlando played down the stretch and that horrendous loss Sunday, and then who knows what you're going to get out of Philadelphia. Are you favored? Regardless of I think you're favored.
Charlotte's
Friday.
favored, yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard many people not speculate, make that the number. Like they're a favorite. Doesn't matter where they're playing, they're going to be favored in the game.
Now, assuming Silver doesn't lose his mind and suspend Ball, and they're doing the investigation. But
right.
Yes, I think if you're 6.5 at home to Miami, and then Orlando would be considered kind of a bad loss too if they would lose this game and the form that they're in. I mean, Charlotte's got a high power rate, and a big deal. You're going to Orlando. I think you're favored in that game.
Let me run this by you. I know you mentioned he was grimacing against the Celtics. I think there's a small chance here that Franz Wagner is like Colin Morikawa at the Masters, and he's totally fine. And he goes out there. I'm saying this because 20-plus points is plus 130. He scored that in back-to-back games. And in 2 other games recently, when he only played 17 and 22 minutes, he had 18 and 17 points. He did play twice against Philadelphia this year. He scored 20-plus in both those games. I mean, if he's totally fine.
Well, it didn't look good.
Yeah, neither did Morikawa.
But, yep. Give him the good stuff. Shoot him up.
He's probably on it right now.
Dead. Yep.
I'm not betting it. I'm just throwing it out there. Okay. Let me run this by you. The Twins they took a quick 1-0 lead today in baseball against the Red Sox. Last check, it was 9-1 Boston. They're getting smoked. But entering today, most wins just in the month of April. The Twins and the Padres were tied for the most overall wins. The Twins were 250-1 most wins at Circa just for the month of April.
I believe it.
How many tickets do you think they wrote on that?
2.
I would guess they may not have written any of them. We'll ask Mike Palm coming up in about an hour. And the Padres just keep winning games. They got it done again last night. Mason Miller comes in. You have no chance against this guy.
No.
Only 1 strikeout, and people were amazed by that.
That was it.
Yeah.
I know. 20 of the 27 hitters he struck out And now Seattle 1-6 on the road. It's a good game.
Yeah, their sticks still concern me. I know they were okay against the Astros, but that's not going to just be like, okay, now they're good to go. They've cured everything. Speaking of the Mariners. But I think that's amazing that the Twins were expected to be one of the worst teams in baseball. And even for most wins in March and April, Caesars had 150 to 1. DK posted 40 to 1 on them. The Dodgers are one game back. They were basically 3 to 1 at all those spots. And
the Mets can't hit.
No.
Good luck. Ohtani's got the scoreless streak going, 28 scoreless innings. And other than the Lindor hit, they did nothing. And the Mets have lost 7 in a row, and the offense isn't there at all. 10 runs in the last 7 games.
Sure.
Now you got to face Ohtani. So good luck there. And the other thing with the Friars during this streak, they're averaging 6 runs a game, too. So you want to come back with San Diego, I'm not going to put you off that. And another one we talked about, you got a little bit lucky, but Detroit is 6-1 at home. Good job by Valdez. Low-scoring game. Lugo had horrible numbers last year against the Tigers.
Yeah, he did.
You are backing Flaherty, who's $1.35, but Lugo was a mess. 0-3 with an ERA of 8 and change last year against the Tigers. And again, Kansas City cannot hit. 3 for 46 last 7 games, runners in scoring position. And in the last 14 games, 0 runs scored for Witt.
Oh, this is going to be a hold your nose type of bet for me because I'm on the Royals' first 5.
Yeah.
And here's the reason why. Again, even Lugo, who has a 1.53 ERA, that's a little misleading because the expected ERA is 4.88 and the FIP is 2.60. But this is more of I don't want to get the bullpens involved at all. I'd rather just fade Flaherty going for the Tigers. Overall, so far on the year, 14 innings, 7 walks per 9, an ERA of 5.14. And the underlying stuff is worse than that. He's got an expected ERA of 6.66 on the season. So I hope it's not that ugly for Lugo in the first 5. And I'm expecting the Royals to actually get it together against Flaherty in this game. And that's why I took Lugo at even money in the first 5.
Okay. One other thing I'll point out in this A's game. The A's have been outscored 14-0 in the first inning.
That's on the year?
Yeah.
Oh,
they
man.
Still haven't scored a run in the first. And they're throwing Ginn tonight. And he's favored. That was a good game last night, too.
Oh, yeah.
Springs was filthy.
He was really good yet again.
But that's something to look at and monitor moving forward. 14 ripped the opponents this year against the A's. Today's the last chance to access MLB and NBA prop projections, powered by OptAI, real-time betting splits from DK and Circa, completely free. Same pro-level tool serious bettors rely on, and they go away. It ends today, but with a VSiN Pro subscription, you have full access to these tools. Find out more, vsin.com. As we said earlier, they're big tonight on Matherin. Check out the games and all the players and everything they have in MLB and NBA, vsin.com.
Analysis with best bets, RBC Heritage on the PGA Tour with Jeff Sealey coming up on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
RBC Heritage, next stop PGA Tour this week. We go out to the Progressive guest line for some analysis on the event and some best bets. Jeff Sealey joins the program now. You can follow him on X at CutmakerJeff. And the Cutmaker podcast is going to return next week. Jeff, good afternoon. Thanks for the time. Before we get into the card this week, you joined us for a couple of segments last week to talk about the Masters overall. I know your card started with A-Bear near the top, so you didn't have Rory. And you ran down all your placements, your top 5s, 10s, 20s, all of that stuff that you liked. Overall, how did you end up doing on the Masters?
It wasn't great, guys. It had the potential to be huge, right? I had Cam Young, and had Cam Young come through, it would have been my biggest Masters ever. But no, you're right. I mean, Oberg didn't play well. Fitzpatrick didn't play particularly well. John Rahm didn't play well until Sunday. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I know I needed Cam Young pretty big. So yeah, it was a loser for me. Unfortunately, that's the way it goes sometimes. But you know, I think we had the right guy. I think Cam Young was there, and for 2 rounds, was like the best player. Just couldn't make any putts on Sunday.
No, and nobody. I mean, look, Rory was all over the map with the driving. And kudos to him for somehow putting it together and winning the event. I'm actually still surprised. Here we are on Wednesday. that nobody other than Scotty Scheffler could actually make a run at him on the back nine. That's what I was just like, wait a second, what's happening right now? He's going to win this thing? Are you kidding me?
Well, especially when you saw the early scoring and how people were just lighting it up early on. I thought the same thing. I thought somebody's going to go because John Rahm went super low, right? And so people were going. There were some numbers out there, and I thought somebody's going to catch. And honestly, I thought Justin Rose had a chance for a while, right?
Sure.
Towards the back nine, you were like, hey, maybe Justin Rose actually gets it done. What a story this would be. I wasn't excited as a Cam Young ticket holder, but it'd be more fun than seeing Rory win again. But it wasn't. Here we are. It didn't happen, and the rest is history.
So for this week, now Scotty's in the event. So do you want to attack just the regular odds board, or are you going to approach it from the winner without Scotty?
Yeah, I'm doing winner without on the outrights, and then a few of the top fives. Guys, I'm going to mention one thing that I just kind of built out a parlay on that segues into another earlier segment you had. How about this? We're going to talk about two guys. I'll highlight them here. JT Poston and Wyndham Clark. With JT Poston top 30, Wyndham Clark top 30, parlayed to an Andre Drummond double-double is 23-1 on DraftKings.
Good find.
I love where your head's at with that.
Yeah.
So I think that could be a fun one. We'll talk about those guys here in a second.
All right. So who's the first guy then, winner without, that you want to go to war with this week?
Yeah, guys, Matt Fitzpatrick is 14-1 to so in their winner without market. Really easy click. Gained across the board in every category for 3 straight weeks, with the exception of losing a little bit with the putter at the Masters. Won this event in 23, was 5th in 21. He's 3rd in the field in approach over the last 6 months, and he's inside the top 30 in every other category you could possibly model out. So this is just a don't overthink it pick. I did bet him 14-1, the winner without. I also played him each way on Bet365. You could play him top 5 on DraftKings at 3-1 or so. But Fitzpatrick, I think, would be a great guy to start your card with. And another guy that I don't talk about often is Patrick Cantlay. He's 20-1 in the winner without market, 4-1 to finish top 5 with ties. But if you're ever going to play Patrick Cantlay, this is the place to play him. Since 2017, he's played in this event 7 times and missed 1 cut. In the other trips, he has 5 finishes inside the top 5 and a 7th place finish. So I think his Masters result will sneak up on people who weren't paying attention when they see he finished T12 because he was never on TV because people don't want to see him. But that was preceded by his 7th of the Valspar. He had 2 more top 15 finishes on the West Coast swing. So I think we're really getting a pretty informed Cantlay right now. My favorite play of the week really is him top 20 at -126, but I'm going to have some top 5 and a little bit of the outright as well.
Okay, you mentioned him earlier, every which way but loose with Poston. How many different ways do you want to play him?
Yeah, I'm playing him top 30, top 40, top 10, and then 68-1 in the winner without. And this is just a pure course horse play for me. 7 trips here. He has 4 finishes inside the top 8. What we know he's going to do here is get up and down, period. In his top 8 finishes, he's actually lost just under a stroke on approach on average. However, he always gains here off the tee because it's not a long course. You just got to keep it in the fairway. And he gets up and down all of the time. So he just finished 21st at the Valero. So he's finding a little bit of form after a pretty bumpy March. But I think really we can lean on course history here, play him and ladder him at a good price, and then throw him in that top 30, throw him in that Drummond parlay.
Okay. Bomb squad, couple guys. Let's start with him. 80-1. How do you want to play him?
Yeah, he's 80-1 in the winner without market, which I think is tremendous. Top 30 plus 116. And he's going to contend to win a tournament again sometime very soon, maybe this week. He led the Valspar for 3 rounds a few weeks ago and a respectable showing at the Masters despite some bad iron play. He's gained around the green in 3 straight, something he'll need to do here. He's gained off the tee every single time he's played here. I expect to see more of that this week. The irons aren't very sharp right now. They're not going to be, but I expect the rest of the game to be good enough to keep him in the conversation, hence the reason I like the 30-1. And Wyndham Clark, guys, is 96-1 in the winner without market, top 30 plus 136. He's gained ball striking in 6 straight events, including the Masters. His putting has been horrible, but everything else has been good, including his short game. So he made a run here in 2024 where he gained across the board and finished T3. His other 2 results here in the past 3 years have both been inside the top 30. So I like the top 30 at plus 136. And I'm also going to look to ladder him again, top 30, top 20, and top 10.
Boy, I'll say this. It's rare outside of circa numbers when they adjust their hold percentage, and you're going to find certain golfers like during a major like last week, all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, that's such a big number that I have to take some of that. It's rare when I'm surprised by a number, but you're exactly right. Wyndham Clark, 96-1 to win this event overall. The putt, is that the reason why? What else could be the explanation why it's so high this week?
Well, that's exactly it. It's the putting's been really bad. But again, you look at everything else. On approach, he's 22nd. Around the greens, he's 20th. 11th on strokes gained total. He's just his putting has been bad, but his history here is good, and his form is decent. It's not great, but it's not terrible. I mean, again, he was 21st at the Masters. Yeah, he missed 2 cuts, but 42nd the Players, 41st at the Genesis, 35th at Waste Management. Like, he's been okay, but it's been all putting. Like, he's losing over a stroke and a half putting in these events. If he doesn't lose putting like he barely did at the Masters, he finished T21. So, I mean, I don't think a top 20 is out of the question at all here, especially since he's proven he can play well here. So really like the top 30. Again, that leg with Poston and that parlay, guys, I think that's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have an Andre Drummond sweat before the tournament even starts.
Very good. You can follow Jeff on X. He is at Cutmaker Jeff. There you go with best bets on the 2026 edition of the RBC Heritage. Thanks, man. Go get him this week.
Thanks, fellas. Take care.
Jeff Sealey on the Progressive guest line. At 96-1 got my attention. Poston even at 68-1. Kind of a bomb number on him.
Yeah.
Didn't even qualify him as a bomb this week.
Mm-hmm.
But typically I think that would be in that category. All right. You got any of this action on soccer this week?
Not in the Champions League, but this is tremendous right now. In aggregate, Arsenal leads 1-0. They won the first leg 1-0, and it's scoreless right now in the 80th minute. So they would advance to the semis, and it's 4-4 on aggregate right now, Bayern Munich and Real Madrid. And this is 3-2 Real Madrid on the road. This is crazy.
Some things that I would love to see American sports adopt would be this rule. And in fact, I think if the play-in game down the road, you could make, this would probably be too many games, but the 2 out of 3, you could have an aggregate, like scoring margin overall out of those 3 games. If they split the first 2 overall, I think would be awesome. But also like relegation in soccer is the best thing there is. And we've been begging for that in American sports. I just don't know. I don't think sports fans in this country would be able to wrap their heads around it.
No.
It would be one of those things where I think it would grow on everybody, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yep.
Meatman's pick, Luton Town, just won, too. Trying to come back, and promotion was 20-1. They just won in League One. How
much trouble do you think Arsenal really is in?
Oh, big time.
In the Prim.
Oh, if they lose to Man City, it's on.
Mm-hmm.
And watch that number move then. I mean, to go from $9 down to $160, with the great performance Man City had at Chelsea, and then they lose at home to Bournemouth. So they also have a game. City has a match in hand, too. So that's really going to get interesting if they win Sunday.
I had several cross-port parlays with Man City winning the Prim, but they were all tied into either Arizona or Duke winning the national title. I didn't have a single bet with Michigan winning the national title.
Yeah.
You know how much that stings?
Yeah.
Because it was Colorado to win the West. That was one of the major legs. Man City to win the Prim. And I think it was Spain to win the World Cup on 4-teamers. And then I threw in like Texas to win the College Baseball World Series on 5-teamers. But never once thought about putting Michigan in there. Had I, those would be fun tickets to be looking at right now.
I know. They were much the best for the first 4 months, but I guess it's easy to say now.
All right, yeah, that's right. Up next, win some, lose some. Paul's going to recap the betting action from last night, and I hate to say it, but I think Eric Spoelstra is right. That's next here on VSiN.
Win Some, Lose Some is sponsored by the Sharp Plays.
Were you a winner last night? Wow, winning. Or was it a rough one?
Well, they can't all be winners, can they?
Loser! You're a loser! Pauly Howard recaps the night in sports betting in Win Some, Lose Some.
Hornets in play 14-1, as high as 16-1 at Kalshi. And overtime, 12-1. You are right what you said earlier. Miami's up 6 with the ball with 1:30, and then in overtime, the Hornets are up 5 with 26 seconds.
You could have had both teams at double-digit odds to win in the final few minutes of the game.
Yeah.
No joke.
How about that?
It's a great game.
Over 225.5 up to 228. Also a winner. Nats
had to have that shot by Kobe White.
Yeah, Nats plus 150. Diamondbacks plus 140. Hockey, Hurricanes plus 160. Flyers plus 255. Wild plus 150. Vancouver plus 140. Kings do it again. Went to overtime. You're up over 50 units on the season. They set a record this year for overtime games in a single season.
Okay, you asked me yesterday about attacking the card. I said I was treading lightly. I mean, Paul, last night was bedlam in hockey.
Yeah, it was.
The Montreal game got higher than $3,
yep.
Right? And the Flyers had nothing to play for. They won the game outright. The Wild sat how many guys last night? 10? A dozen? They won the game outright. The Utah game was bonkers. Almost blew a big lead.
It was good.
It's like the NBA all over again.
I think that's a 15-1 run, too. Anaheim, 1-15, Anaheim against Minnesota. How they have their numbers. Subscribe, be part of the team, vsin.com. Our radio and podcast friends, you always want to see these tweets and videos. At Pauly Does Vegas on Instagram. Send them in, we'll put you on. They opened up a Buc-ee's in Ohio. Did $1 million in the first day.
Oh, I would have guessed first hour.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. When I went to the one in Fort Worth, it exceeded my expectations. You couldn't get on one gas pump, and there's over 90 of them. The bathrooms were immaculate. There were 2 people in there at all times, workers, how clean it was. Food's great, but it's something, man. They talk to a guy who has a McDonald's down the street. It says it impacts me. Yeah, big time. They come in and do $1 million in the first day, how much money they do.
If we had one out here in Las Vegas, no joke, how often would you go to it?
Good question.
Would you be, I'm not going to say daily, but you'd be there multiple times a week?
Don't know. Have to do more digging because I was in and out. But I didn't get to try a lot of the food either. But I hear the food's awesome as well. But that is something. The Buc-ee's hype. That's phenomenal. Of course, Ohio loves it. Doug doesn't want to leave the brewery. Setting up, going in on a walk, and he just shuts it down right in the middle of the road. And this is a tough spot if you're the human and the owner. Like, what are you going to do, right? Hey, come on, bud. You okay? Can you make it? This never happened to me. You know, whether the dog will just lay on his back and say, I'm not moving. That's it. Enough for me. And he just finally says, okay, cooperate.
Well, let's be honest here. When you're having a good time at a brewery, who wants to leave?
Yeah, right. Like Homer Simpson. Yeah, right. Was it when the truck turned over too? Look at him. It's like, no, I'm not leaving. Over again. He cannot get him. The dog's having none of it. I will not leave. Lose some Suns Blazers under 218.5 up to 215.5. Montreal 135 up to 320. Couldn't even win the game. You knew it was coming. Everyone was on the same side. Coppin State, college baseball, gave up 20 runs in the first inning to Lehigh. They lost 38-6. 11 walks in the first inning. They scored all those runs. I think they only had 3 hits. 20 runs in the first inning.
Hold on. They had 20 runs in 1 inning and 3 hits.
I believe so. 11 walks in the inning. I will double check.
How many pitchers?
Don't know. That's another good question.
That has to be an all-time record. It doesn't matter what sport.
Yeah, that was all over X on yesterday.
Or what level, I should say.
Yeah. Yep. And I will say, this is a win some, but I put it under lose some because I went off Monday on the coverage. Kevin Kisner all over on a podcast about the Masters coverage with CBS. You don't show commercials. How about you show a live shot? Some of the stuff you're showing is 10 minutes old, but you're playing it off like it's live. I'm better off watching and following on the app, he said.
Oh, he was livid.
Also, how do you miss Rory's winning putt on 18 and not have the appropriate angle? Not to mention you couldn't find any of the shots on 18. You couldn't find Rory's ball in the bunker. Where's Dottie Pepper? You couldn't. And then the other thing, and this is on Augusta, like they didn't do a good job of showing how much trouble he was in after the tee shot on 18.
No, you couldn't really tell.
But it's a rule. You're not the commentators are not allowed to guess how far the shot is away from the hole. It's a rule at Augusta.
Interesting. Okay.
So that's another conundrum too that they faced. But between that, Even Warren Sharp was all over this. Like, you couldn't see the ball go in the hole on McIlroy's winning putt with that horrible angle. Then you couldn't find his second shot. I think it took like a minute and 10 seconds before finally, there it is. There's a ball right there in the bunker. That must be it.
Yeah, he was dropping some emphatic F-bombs, so it's like, well, we can't play this on the air. It'd take too much to beep it out anyway. But to see a former golfer who was that passionate about the coverage, it also ties into what happened last night with the streaming devices late in the game.
What do you think?
The Hornets, it's a huge spot against the Heat.
It's right when the LaMelo Ball turnover and foul
happened. Yes, it's technical difficulties. Everybody in the world's including LeBron James.
Right.
LeBron's tweeting about it.
Now, Kirk Goldsberry said it's inexcusable and all the money that Amazon has. He's like, I haven't seen the technical difficulties thing come across the screen since like I was 12 years old, he said.
It's been a long time.
Technical difficulties in that situation. Because we pointed out that it's nice to look at Taylor Rooks, but you get the first 9 games were all on Amazon. And it's just the worst possible time. They lose the feed.
Taylor Rooks, underhyped. How do you like that one, Johnny?
There you go. Good job. You've redeemed yourself. Nice job.
No. Well, there's no redeeming myself. I'm spot on about Sidney Sweeney.
The other one, too, they showed after LaMelo's shot in overtime that Miami had a timeout. They did not have a timeout.
They did not.
But Van Gundy had it correct, though, along with our buddy Ian Eagle. They did not have a timeout.
That's right.
But they showed they had a timeout, which was wrong as well. So that was a bad beat. Tough for Amazon with the first night of the NBA. Baseball every day, NBA, NHL playoffs coming soon. Sharp Plays covers it all. They've been winning for 15 straight years. All of it documented. All of it at sharpplays.com. Advanced AI, trusted insider intel. They find the value before the numbers shift. Start winning with them. Sharpplays.com. And they recently has their Sharp Plays consensus. They're pulling in selections and intel from over 500 different places. And they access and set it out to all the subscribers as well, with all the plays from all the different sports. Follow them, subscribe, sharpplays.com.
Here is a soundbite that we can play after last night because he was composed, although he was not happy with the controversy. LaMelo Ball tackling Bam Adebayo and hurting him, so he had to leave the game. Heat coach Eric Spoelstra not happy afterwards.
I didn't see it, but I don't think it's cute. I don't think it's funny. I think it's a stupid play. It's a dangerous play. Obviously, our best player is out. I'm not making an excuse. The Hornets played great, and they made those plays down the stretch. We had our opportunities to win. I just, that's a shame. He should be penalized for that. I don't think that belongs in the game, tripping guys, shenanigans. And, Curtis was there. It's his responsibility to see that. And if it's not his responsibility, then Zach's got to see it. If, somebody has got to see that, and that, he should have been thrown out of the game, for that. I don't know him from, anyone. There's no place in the game for that. Obviously, it took Bam out of the game.
As someone holding Hornets 14-1 to make the playoffs, I totally agree with him.
I disagree.
I thought LaMelo should have been kicked out, and I actually think he should be suspended for the next game. He's got a history of this, Paul. He's tackled Bam Adebayo. That is absolutely as dirty as it gets. Unacceptable.
I agree with Blake Griffin. It would have been a flagrant. They wouldn't have kicked him out of the game.
That's a bad job by the officiating crew, though.
Well, not really, because you can't review it because the ball, there wasn't a timeout. There wasn't a dead ball. That's what they said. So, because Bam saved the ball, and then they went to a fast break the other way. But what made it worse was what he said afterwards. They asked LaMelo, he goes, well, I blacked out. I got hit in the head, and he fell down and hit his head on Kalkbrenner's knee. I blacked out. You're right about the history, but
I don't buy it.
I don't think
he's looking.
Silver will suspend him.
I don't think he will either because he's too soft, but LaMelo Ball is looking right at Bam Adebayo. Now, is he really blacked out in that moment? Again, I'm going to call BS on that. He's looking at Bam up as he grabs his leg and he turns him upside down like that.
Yeah. It certainly worked, too. Knocked him out of the game.
Yes, it did.
Their best player.
Mission accomplished there. And I don't know, maybe the Hornets actually win the game going away because Ball was so bad in the game.
Maybe.
Overall, maybe it would be a good thing if he's suspended actually in this next spot. But I just thought that was... Dude, you've done it before in your career.
Well, that
Same
was a good
guy.
Job. Good job by the Miami fans finding that.
Oh, that did not take long.
Yeah.
They have good memories there. That stuff surfaced immediately. But regardless, now they're going to be favored on the road the way it looks, no matter which team they're going to play, the loser of tonight's game. Orlando and Philadelphia. So we'll talk NFL draft coming up. Jacob Infante is going to be on the program. He also covers the Bears along with the draft. Chicago's favored to pick a D lineman first, but what if they acquired Dexter Lawrence? Then what would they do? We'll ask him next here on VSiN.